So happening right now, thousands getting ready for this year's P.F. Chang's Rock and Roll Marathon.
26.2 miles through the streets of Tempe, Scottsdale, and Phoenix. It's a long run. The full marathon starts in Phoenix, but ABC 15's Navita Fergani is live at the beginning of the half marathon in Tempe. Navita, how's it going out there?
Good morning, Iris and Chris. Yeah, it's doing great. Volunteers just showed up, and in a few hours, 25,000 runners will be gathering right here to start this race, and they're going to be pushing through for the next few hours to that finish line. And joining us right now to kind of talk about the start of this whole race is Frank. He's one of the co-founders. Tell me a little bit about how this whole thing got started.
Well, about 10 years ago, some people out in California, there'd been a race called the Rock and Roll Marathon. This idea, this concept of having bands, along the route and concert at the end, and just doing it in a way, making a destination race. The history for people here who don't know is that the Goodwill Games was going to be in Phoenix, the last one. Well, Ted Turner decided they didn't need the Goodwill Games because the Soviet Union had dissolved. And so the rock and roll group decided we would come in and talk to the people at all three cities, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Tempe, and see if maybe they would want to use the resources that were committed to the Goodwill Games to have a race. And it really, at the time, it was a novel concept. Usually races were kind of homegrown. There was a race here called Continental Homes, the 10K race, where actually the world record for 10 kilometers was set. So Phoenix had a history, and we knew that. And so we came in, everybody agreed to do it, and the rest is history.
And are you surprised that it's just taken off? You have 25,000 runners participating today.
Well, the wonderful thing about these kind of events is you really become the caretaker. After about 5 years, the three cities, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Tempe, really kind of took on an ownership interest in the race. And the rock and roll group, the competitor group, we're stewards. And the community gets behind it, people find out about it, word of mouth around the country, people fly in, and it just grows on its own. And the wonderful thing is, in a way, you create the platform, sort of the model, but then the people come. They really do, and the race belongs to the community.
All right, thank you so much, Frank, for joining us. And so many people are running here today with all of their personal causes. And what's interesting about this race, though, for some people who are very competitive marathon runners, this is the qualifying race for one of the qualifying races for the Boston Marathon. So everyone's going to be out here having a good time. Hopefully, coming up later on in this show, Chris and Iris, we're going to have all the runners out here lining up, ready to get this race started. Chris and Iris,
it's great to hear those stories like that. And Iris and I were actually looking over your shoulder, Navita. We can see a lot of people seem to be gathering now about this time, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of volunteers coming out. I think I've seen a few runners out here, but most of these guys are volunteers. They're going to help people get registered. We've got right over here in the middle of Mill Avenue, we've got bananas and water ready for the runners. And did you know that there's 80,000 gallons of water provided on standby for these runners to make sure they get through this race? So pretty interesting.
Holy cow, what a nice little fun fact there. All right, Navita, thanks for that. And you may have noticed the blinking lights in Navita's live shot there. There are many road closures. We've posted that on abc15.com so you can get a good up-close look at that.